All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. I would like to say shalom to you, Akim, and you, Akwath, you men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother Micah Allah coming at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, Lord willing to edify. And the title of this lesson is simply, E will lose everything. And this is concerning none other than Esau Edom, the so-called white man, and mainly talking about, these elites, those that have control, and who's been given the fatness of the planet Earth by Yahweh Shema Shai. Those Amalekite banking families, you're about to get ready and lose everything that you've wickedly gained on this side. And Yahweh Shai is going to make sure that you lose everything on this side, because who has given you the power? None other than Yahweh Shema Shai, our Lord Yahweh Shai, because we understand and know that, all power was given to Yahweh Shai in heaven and in earth. So it's really the Lord is the reason why you're on top right now, which is all according to biblical prophecy. But the Lord, is going to destroy everything that you've wickedly, worked hard to get. And how did you get these riches on this side? How did you get to have the influence in the planet Earth? Well, everybody knows, or everybody should know, because we're in the age of information. It's not hard. It's not rocket science, Well, if you look at, the so-called white man's track record, this man has raped, robbed, and murdered his way to the top, And you're going to lose everything that you've accumulated. And ultimately, you're going to be a slave under the people that you're currently oppressing, which is the Lord's chosen people, which is the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. With this direct Ecclesiasticus 20 and verse 9, it says, there's a sinner that have good success in evil things, and there is a gain that turneth to loss, you see? So it says there's a sinner that have good success in evil things. Yeah, Esau Edom, you have good success in evil things, man. Everything that you've gotten on this side, it was through evil. Because we know, the wicked cometh not but to steal, kill, and destroy, and that's what you've done. That's what you continue to do, you see? But not considering that all the things that you've gotten, wickedly, you're going to lose it. That's why it says, and there is a gain that turneth to loss, you see? So yeah, you've gained the fatness of the earth. You've gained influence in the planet Earth, but you're going to lose all of that, man. You see, in the blink of an eye. And, these elites, you're prideful. You really don't consider that or believe that you're going to be taken down, because their mindset is that, they're going to rule forever. This man has a new world order that he wants to set up, which we see everything is already, set in place, and that consists of, that charagma being the main influence on how these elites are going to use their C-hip to try to control the comings and goings of people, control people's livelihoods, ultimately control people's minds, like Yahweh Shema Shai, because this dude has a God complex. He thinks that he's on the same level as Yahweh Shema Shai. You see, the Psalms 94 and verse 1, it says, O Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai power, to whom belongeth vengeance. So like it, to whom vengeance belongeth. O Yahweh Shemal Shah, to whom vengeance belongeth, show thyself. You see, and the Lord is showing himself, you know. And how does the Lord ultimately show himself? It's through his judgments, you know. And one way that he's going to judge you Edomites, he's going to destroy your kingdom. He's going to destroy your plans, you know. Because this dude think that he's going to see-hip the whole world. Nigga got an agenda for 2030. Hell, you take it a step further with this dude. The pride of this man, he got plans for 2100, you know. Showing you how crazy this dude is, you know. And he honestly believes that he's going to, you know, conjure up the power to win between Yahweh Shai and the angels when they return, man. Because he's going to fight against the Lord. It tells you that in Revelation, the 12th chapter, you know. Showing you the pride of this dude, but that's really the Lord making this man fight against him. You know, when you go to 2nd Ezra 13, you know, he was afraid, but yet there's fight. You see, because the Lord is controls the minds of kings, you know. It says, lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth, render a reward to the proud. And what's that reward? It's destruction. You see, that's the reward that you Edomites are going to receive from the hands of our Lord Yahweh Shai. It says, Lord Yahweh Shemal Shai, how long shall the wicked triumph? You know, and this is the mindset of the house of David. You know, how long, you know, is these Edomites, is the wicked, you know. Keep in mind the scriptures call this man the wicked, you know, that the Bible speaks of, man. But how long will he triumph in the earth? We know that the triumphing of the wicked is short, man, and it's but for a moment, you know, because whether you want to, you know, accept it or not, the Lord never set you Edomites up to rule forever, you see. The only kingdom that's going to rule forever is our Lord Yahweh Shai's kingdom. That's why this kingdom is being broken down so that the kingdom of heaven can be established, man. But you have to remove America out of the way. You see, you can't have the kingdom of heaven and America on the fly ruling at the same time. No, that's not the way it's going to get down, man. You see, this place is going to be destroyed. And all heathens that, you know, dwell on this land is going to be destroyed as well, man. So if you are listening to other Israelite camps out there that's telling you heathens is going to be saved, don't listen to that shit, because you believe in that. That's a false doctrine. And if you hold fast to that, you're going to be destroyed, man. You see, this Job 5 and verse 10, it says, who giveth rain upon the earth and sendeth waters upon the fields? It's Yahweh Shemal Shai. It says to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. Exactly. And that's concerning who? The elect, you know, because the meek is being exalted in these last days. The Lord is exalting us by giving us this truth, by giving us our heritage back, you know, by giving us the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding as to who we are once again, which is the Lord's chosen people, the nation of Israel. You see? So the Lord is, you're witnessing the Lord, you know, have a transition of power take place, you know? You can read that in Sirach, the 10th chapter. You see? It says, reading it again, it says, to set up on high those that be low, that those which mourn may be exalted to safety. Yeah, and we're in the house of mourning. You know, we're mourning. Why? Because we're at the bottom, you know. This could only apply to none other than the nation of Israel. You see, because you heathens have had your time to rule. You know, you're ruling with the beast. You're ruling with Esau. You know, here it is, a whole gook can come over here to the soils of America and have a way better living situation than the ones who were bought over here against their will, man, on cargo slave ships and constantly oppressed. You know, you can have a gook to get a loan for 100,000, easy, as soon as you step foot over here. You know, these heathens aren't low. You know, but who's at the bottom? The Israelites are at the bottom, man. But those roles are being reversed, you know. Verse 12, it says, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. You see, let's read again. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Yeah, so Esau, his mindset, you think that you're going to see hip the whole world, which the elect is not going to take their see hip. You see, the elect is going to depend on Yahweh Shemal Washai. You see, but you're not going to be able to fulfill that lust, you know, that you desire, you know, of establishing your NWO to its fullest. That's not the way the Lord set it up. You see? Let's get this right here. It's Job 20 and verse 4. It says, knowest thou not this of old, since man was placed upon earth? So since man was put on earth from the beginning, that the triumphing of the wicked is short, and the joy of the hypocrite but for a moment. You see, so the triumphing of the wicked is short, man. You know, it was never set up for you to rule forever. Jumping down to the 23rd verse, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, and we're in the season of Esau filling his belly now. You know, he got everything in order, and as soon as he implements that charagma, that's a wrap. You see, that's why we can boldly tell you to go ahead and do what you got to do, man. But we understand and know that it's Yahweh Shemal Washai. It's on the Lord's timing, you know. But when that charagma is implemented, that's when you're going to see the Lord step in like you've never seen before concerning, you know, on the behalf of his elect, you know, by the way of miracles. And you're really going to see this man's system collapse right before your very eyes. So you people that don't see it now, you know, you're going to see it when you face to face with it, man, you know, because it may seem like, you know, nothing's happening. You know, you people think that, you know, what we've been warning about, starting with our apostles and elders, you think that this is a far off, but, you know, you're not paying attention to the signs because, you know, AI is taking over people's regular jobs, you know, more technology is increasing in the earth. You know, you're hearing talks about 6G, and we understand exactly what 6G goes into, man. That's going right into that charagma. You seen how fast E implemented or set up 5G during C-19 when he had everybody in the house, you know, on lockdown, and he was building 5G towers all throughout the planet Earth. Well, now you got 6G, man. You see? And we understand and know that number 6, that's what those elites get off on, man. That number 6. You see? So how ironic, we got all this technology out here, but Revelations 13 and 16 ain't the C hip. You people that believe that, you're crazy, man. Which Revelations 13 and 16 is the C hip, the micro C hip, which would physically be implanted inside of your body, whether it's in your hand or your forehead. And if you don't have it, you're not going to be able to buy or sell or continue in this society. You see? It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High Yahweh shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. You see? So the sooner this man implements the charagma, the sooner those missiles are going to get to flying, man. Because prophecy is lined up correctly, man. So our apostles and elders of Great Millstone was right the whole time, man. You see? And the like-minded men, on down. You see? That means we were right through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemal Washai. And once you people see it, then you're going to know that what? A prophet was among you. Let's go here. I'm going to close out with this one. This Luke 12 and verse 16. It says, and he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentifully. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do? Because I have no room where to bestow my fruits. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. You see, and this is going into the parable of the foolish rich man, and this applies to Esau Edom today, because this is his mindset. He got that build back better spirit on him. You know what I mean? Nigga think his house is gonna continue forever. He done accumulated all these goods in wickedness now, and he thinks that he's just gonna sit back and just watch the whole earth cater to him and go to shit. He thinks that he's going to perform his enterprise. But we just read the Lord is going to cast all that down, man. You see? It says, and I will say to my soul, thou hast much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. But the Most High, here's the point. But the Most High Yahweh said unto him, thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then who shall those things be which thou hast provided? You see? And let's read in the NLT. It says, but the Most High said to him, you fool, you will die this very night. Then who will get everything you worked for? You see? And we understand that, once Esau's taken out of the way, everything that he's accumulated, first of all, his ass, these elites, your ass is going into slavery under the Israelites. You see? So, you got these elites, and they know this because they probably already hiding in their bunkers, but we getting the reports of, these different billionaires building these bunkers, and these elites, we know they got their bunkers already set, but they got riches and shit down there with them, because they understand America's gonna be destroyed. But all those riches is gonna be given to the Israelites, man. It's gonna really be given to our Lord Yahweh Shai. You see? So you really, that's why the scriptures told him, thou fool. You accumulated all this shit in wickedness, not understanding that it's all going to be taken away from you. You see? But Lord willing, that was edifying. I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the men who taught me this truth. Peace and blessings be to the hopeful elect, your men, women, and little ones that believe on the words of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Shalom.